Hello and welcome to Arirang News Break on this Friday, June 17th. Live from Seoul, I'm Han Daeun. We begin on the political front. Korea's ruling Saenuri Party has accepted some familiar faces back into their fold. With the increased number of seats, they may regain its status as the largest party in the National Assembly. But party division only seems to be deepening as some of the returning members have been vocal about their disagreements with the president. Park Ji-won starts us off.
The ruling Saenuri Party's interim leadership body decided Thursday to welcome back 7 lawmakers who left the party right before the general election in April due to internal feuds over the candidate nomination process. 4 of the lawmakers, including former floor leader Yoo Seung-min, have already won immediate approval for their applications to rejoin the party. It's expected the other 3 members will soon submit applications as well. With the decision, the ruling Saenuri Party now has 126 of the Assembly's 300 seats, making it the largest party once again. The main opposition Minju Party of Korea has 122 seats. However, experts say being the largest party is not very significant without a parliamentary majority. They say the greater significance lies in the idea that the party's interim council allegedly went against the advice of the presidential office.
The significance of being the largest party was relevant when the parliament decided standing committee chairs and the assembly speaker, and that phase is over. And even though the Saenuri Party has become the largest party again, it still lacks a majority, so the party still has to work with the opposition. I think it's more meaningful that the party made a decision that was independent from the suggestion allegedly made by the presidential office.
Officials at the presidential office had reportedly indicated that it hoped the party would hold off on making a decision until after the party convention in August, because most of the returning members are from the wing of the party that's now with the president. But the ruling party welcomed the former members back on Thursday, saying it is the first step towards innovation and integration within the party. Park Ji-won, Arirang News.
A bill has been approved in the United States that takes lawmakers one step closer to redesignating North Korea as a state sponsor of terrorism. Foreign Ministry correspondent Kwon So-ah with the details.
The 2014 cyber attack on Sony Pictures, hackings into South Korean agencies, as well as the bombing of a South Korean passenger jet, a case that goes all the way back to the 1980s. These are among 21 terror acts subject to re-examination as to whether North Korea should be redesignated as a state sponsor of terrorism by the U.S. On Thursday, a bill was approved by a House committee which calls for the State Department to report to Congress on the issue within 90 days, and then it has to pass the full House and Senate. U.S. Congressman Ted Poe, who proposed the bill, says when Pyongyang was taken off the list in 2008, it was for, quote, completely diplomatic reasons. Currently, Iran, Sudan, and Syria are designated as terror-sponsoring nations. Cuba has been excluded since last year. Kwon So-ah, Arirang News.
A British member of Parliament, Joe Cox, has died after being shot and stabbed in the street in northern England. The shocking attack has led to the temporary suspension of campaigning for next week's EU referendum. Park Jong-ong tells us more.
The victim was a vocal supporter of Britain remaining in the European Union. Joe Cox, a lawmaker with the opposition Labour Party, was preparing to hold a meeting with her local constituents in Birstall near Leeds when she was shot and stabbed. Police have arrested the attacker, a 52-year-old man, and recovered weapons, including a firearm. They say they are working on the assumption that it was a lone incident. With the nation in shock, British politicians have been paying tribute, and both sides of the EU referendum debate have suspended campaigning until the weekend out of respect.
It's right that we're suspending campaigning activity in this referendum, and everyone's thoughts will be with Jo's family and with her constituents at this terrible time.
The 41-year-old mother of two was known for her work on women's issues and had worked on U.S. President Barack Obama's first election campaign. Mrs. Cox was the first sitting MP to be killed in the UK since 1990. Park Jong-hong, Arirang News.
The cockpit voice recorder from the doomed Egypt airplane, which crashed into the Mediterranean Sea last month, was found. Damaged, but with its memory unit intact, hopes are rising it could contain decisive clues to what exactly happened. Hwang Ho-jun reports.
A day after Egyptian authorities located the wreckage in the middle of the Mediterranean, investigators reported that the search team had recovered the cockpit voice recorder. In spite of the device's damaged body, the main memory unit is said to be intact. One of the plane's two black boxes, it's believed to have 2 hours of recordings of the conversations that took place in the cockpit before the crash. As the recorder even has the capability of picking up a person breathing, the extracted recording may shed some light on the cause of the last month's crash. The discovered voice recorder has been taken to Alexandria to be studied. The search for the other black box will continue, as it should also hold critical information about the crash that killed all 66 people on board. Hwang Ho-jun, Arirang News.
And that wraps it up. Thank you for watching. I'll be back with more of the day's quick headlines at 3 p.m. Korea time. Stick around.